BlaXit family.
BlaXit family.
Yay! How are you? How is everybody today? I'm Juliet Ryan.
Adrian. Ryan.
This is Abdullah.
Back by popular demand. So basically, BlaXit family, we usually have our Sunday link-ups, but unfortunately, due to the social distancing and everything, we haven't been able to re-establish them as yet, but they will be coming back. They will be coming back soon. So we've decided to do the Sunday drop-in, where someone has dropped in and we're going to have a conversation with them on camera. And the lucky person today who has dropped in has been our teacher and also previous contributor to BlaXit, Abdullah J. And so today we were having a conversation around the dinner table, as you do, and we were talking about this issue about vaccines coming into Africa. I watched Woda Maya and I listened to what he said about certain countries agreeing to, including a country which is just outside of Gambia, which is called Senegal, agreeing to participate in the testing of vaccines in their countries, as well as Burkina Faso, Congo, and I think one other nation whose name slips me at the moment. Now, I take issue with the fact that anyone should be testing any vaccine in Africa whatsoever, especially this COVID-19. And I'm going to talk about this because I'm a little bit angry. And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of anger. I know it's all about peace and love, but there's nothing with a little bit of anger. At the end of the day, okay, so I feel there's nothing wrong with a little bit of anger. And I am angry. I am angry with any representative of any nation that would submit their people to be guinea pigs, to be lab rats, to be experiments. Who knows the far-reaching implications and health implications, or even that they could then become carriers of this disease, because in every inoculation is a percentage of the disease, as well as usually mercury. Now, I am not pro all of these, experimental vaccinations of human beings. And I certainly am not pro them on our African nations. And I am calling and I am appealing to our African nations to please reconsider these trials. I don't care how much they're giving you in terms of money. Because money isn't everything. Life is more important than money. Right now, no matter how much money you've got, there's only one flight leaving out of here on Tuesday. After that, everybody is on lockdown like everybody else. What I'm trying to say is that no matter how much money you've got, you are still on lockdown like everybody else. No matter how much money you've got, you can contract it. And even if you're rich, you get the mild version. So I've seen. But what I'm trying to say is that, for me, this is biowarfare. I think it's biowarfare. I've seen evidence, I've watched videos, I watched Project Camelot's video recently that was made 10 years ago, that I watched 10 years ago. And I re-watched this, and I've seen that the meeting that was had, where this person discussed the contents of the meeting, everything that he has said has almost come to pass. So this was already pre-planned and is already out there.
This is Bill Ryan from Project Camelot and Project Camelot, and the date is the 16th of February 2010. And this is a bit of an unusual video presentation here, because I'm taking the step of making a video as an interpretation and as a commentary on an audio interview which we did with an important witness who came and reported his story to Project Camelot a little while ago, about a couple of weeks ago. And this from a number of good researchers from many countries who are reporting this on the internet, that things are being set up in many of the Western countries for there to be heavy controls over populations, martial law, increased powers on security forces who are not just the army or the police, but in Britain, for example, our source said that he absolutely knew personally for a fact that a very large number of private security people, their powers were being increased to give them the ability to arrest people, the ability to detain, the ability to handle riots in streets. And here we're talking about just regular people working in private security, people who give the parking tickets on the streets. Their powers are being increased in the same way. And last year we heard President Obama talking about how he wanted to have a sort of national guard at home in America ready to handle this kind of thing. There are a lot of indicators that this is being set up. And then the next thing that happens in this chess game that's being played is that biological weapons are released on China. You heard this being discussed in this meeting. They will release a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. It's racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. Our source was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. And then, he said, then the real war starts.
What kind of talk? People are freaking out about reports on the tattle now.
Now, I know this is hard for people at home to comprehend, so what are we looking at, Dr. Rubel? The scale and scope.
A scale we've never dreamed. A scope that quickly becomes global.
A massive contagion.
Not one contagion, but a variety of contagions. If the flu doesn't kill you, then something else will.
So I want to ask Abdullah and Adrian to weigh on in this. This is my opinion, so I'm just laying out what I think personally, that Africa should say no to the vaccines, no to the vaccines, unequivocally no to the COVID-19 vaccine. We are not lab rats, we are not guinea pigs, and I'm supporting you, Drogba. I liked you when you was a footballer, and now I support you even 100% more for talking up about this. Rhoda Meyer, everybody that's saying no to the vaccine, all of the bloggers out there that are saying no to the vaccine, culture saying no to the vaccine, no to the vaccine. So, Abdullah, weigh in. What's your thoughts?
This is a very interesting, something we need to talk about. More especially about this vaccine, they're talking about. And it is very important that for African leaders to reconsider us. Sometimes with the tokens of money, with the small money, which you are giving to accept certain things, which is going to affect everybody today or tomorrow. Even if you go to the bush, you see the little ant, if you want to catch it or whatever, it will run, to make sure that it does not die. So everything respect its life. Sure, from the big animal to the smallest animal, everything respect its life. So why not we human beings? We should also respect our life, and we understand that. So there are many reasons why the Africans should not accept this vaccine. Because we can just give example, we have in past during the Ebola time, when Africans we are suffering from Ebola. The whites never said, okay, now let's make a vaccine so that, we can use it. They never talk about that because Africa was being affected. So if the table turned around today and then Europe is affected, why Africa should be given vaccine?
Exactly.
we just see what happened during Ebola time. They don't take any vaccine. So what they just try to do, they cut all traveling or whatever, then that was it. So if France, America, Europe, China, if they are being affected, why don't they test the vaccine there first? Because we've not been affected. And there are a lot of proofs which show that blacks are not big victims of this disease.
Not in the same way we're recovering. And there's a high recovery rate.
Yeah, so basically, let them help Europe first before coming to Africa. So if I'm not prone to disease and I don't have the disease, why should I take a vaccine first? So I don't think we need any kind of vaccine. And we have seen a lot of examples, how many Africans, if you go to countries like Congo, we have seen even white people who have testified that, during the process of bringing vaccine to Africa, we even sometimes they brought along HIV/AIDS or some other parts of Africa. I think we should not be a victim always, so we need to think about this. We should not take individual interests and then forget the larger majority.
Exactly.
You understand? And the problem with Africa, almost, leaders own their nations. That's the problem we have. It's like, whenever the leaders accept something, like everybody has to accept it. But I don't think it's something we need to accept. We don't need any vaccine. Let them help Europe, America, and other parts who are prone to this. So we don't need any vaccine. Why do we need vaccine? This is the question we need to ask them when they want to bring vaccines to Africa. Why do we need it?
This whole saviour complex. It's this whole saviour complex. We need, as Africans, to get rid of this whole saviour complex. I think this is one of the issues of the mindsets. We feel that they're always coming with a solution. Like we can't find a solution for ourselves. Like we can't be the betterment of ourselves. We can't be the masters of our own destiny. But I mean, what are you saying, Age?
Greetings, BlaXit family. I mean, I'm no medical expert. I'm no scientist. But speaking on the vaccine, they actually bring it here to test the vaccine. It's not that they already tested the vaccine and know that it's safe for human. They want to do it here in Africa and using African people once again as guinea pigs. Let me just remind people, 500 years we've been in contact with the West and they never have done anything for Africa. They never brought anything here to Africa that is good for the African people. Let's face it. So when I read the news with those two doctors from France, right?
Yeah.
They want to come and test the vaccine here. Africa is less affected by the coronavirus. China is affected more than Africa. Europe have more cases of death than Africa. So why not try it there? Why don't he try it in his own country? Why they have to bring it? Why they have to use black people all the time as guinea pigs? And why we allow this? Why do we allow this? Why do we have leaders in Africa today that allow their people to be used as guinea pigs? Just because of what? They're giving them trinkets in their pocket. It's about time that we call out the African leaders. And it's about time we face the facts. And deal with our leaders just keep doing this. Because we need to stop it. We're not guinea pigs. We're human beings, we're equal as everyone else. And African leaders, I mean, if we work together, you will need to be taking money from the West. You understand? You need to look beyond that because the West still depends on Africa. Africa don't need the West. The West need Africa. So African leaders, it's time to come together and form a united nation of Africa and generate your own wealth. Stop being cowards. Because this is what we are. We are cowards. When we work together, we don't need all this nonsense. Just going to take it bribe while you're killing your people. If the vaccine is no good, as I say, I'm no medical expert. I haven't run the test on this vaccine in the lab. But I usually know anything they bring into Africa is of no good use for Africans. We know this. We've seen it happening over the years. And the worst thing is that they want to test it here. So they're not sure what side effects this vaccine is going to be given to the people of Africa. If it was such a good thing that they invent, why don't they try it on their own people?
Exactly.
Why don't they try it there on their own people? So what they say, the people of France is better than the people of Africa? I think those doctors should have got to bloody jail, to be honest with you, for even suggesting that. Because that's another form of serious racism. You know? Because they don't mind to come here and kill Africans by sending this virus. Because they know that will be no good for us. Yeah, but as I say, I'm no medical expert, but I'm just sharing my own personal opinion. Let them test it in their country first. And if Africa have increasing cases, it's different. But for now, Africa have a low case for this coronavirus. So I don't see the need for any vaccination being tested here. That's my personal opinion.
Well, you know, I have an unconfirmed and uncorroborated story that was sent to me, and I was told that in the upper region of Bla Xit, this is what was sent to me. I haven't confirmed this, so this is alleged, everybody, that they had already tried to test this vaccine, and 4 children died. This is what I was told. And so whether it's speculation, whether it's accurate, whether it's inaccurate, I don't know. But let's just say sometimes there's no smoke without fire. So I was told that 4 children have been tested on this vaccine here in Gambia, in the upper region of Bla Xit, and that these 4 children died, and that afterwards there was 1 case of coronavirus. So it made me think, and I'm connecting the dots here, and like I said, I'm no expert either. This is just my own opinion, common sense maybe, is that maybe the vaccine makes you a carrier of the virus. And I'm sorry, I can honestly say to you that I do not subscribe to the philanthropic ideologies of some of these Western billionaires that have come to say that they have Africa's best interests at heart. I do not believe in that agenda. And I remember a polio vaccine that happened in India even, where these children became crippled and they became disabled as a result of taking a specific vaccine. And if you don't know about it, you can go and research it online. And it might have been a polio vaccine, if my memory serves me correctly, but I'm not going to stand on that. I'm just saying it could have been. Now, I think that it's time for Africa to get up off your knees. I think it's time for Africa to stand up on your feet. It's time for Africa to realize Africa doesn't need any other nation. Africa has every kind of resource that the world needs. You wouldn't have a mobile phone without cobalt. We have gold, we have silver, we have diamonds, we have water, we have oil, we have palm oil, we have so many different foods and resources. We can create our own energy, we can invest in our own manufacturing. Look at what Akon is doing, and I am calling out to you, Akon, and I am calling out to you, Dr. Arikana Chilbwari Kwe. I want to interview you both. We are all on the same tip, the same message, and we must all come together. Back, I'm coming at you, Black Acres of the Gambia. We are going to collaborate and do a program where we're going to talk about all of the issues that we really want to talk about together. So I'm just telling you that, yes, we are coming together. But we have to come together to talk about this because it's our duty to protect Africa. We live here, we are Africans. And whether you're an African outside of Africa, living in America, living in Finland, living in Sweden, living in France, living in Italy, living in England, whether you're living in America, in any state, whether you're living in Hawaii, whether you're living in Bahrain, whether you're living in Jamaica, whether you're living in Trinidad, whether you're living in Bahamas, I don't care where you're living, whether you're in West Papua, whether you're in Papua New Guinea, whether you're in Japan, France, Italy, whether you're in the upper provinces of Japan or some other countries I've never even heard of. It's time as us, and we realise we're black, we must protect Africa. These are our home nations. We were taken in slavery, Brazil, my Brazilian brothers and sisters, we were taken in slavery. And it's time for us to come home, and it's time for us to weigh in on this issue. Because we have advanced knowledge. We've forgotten who the enemy is. It's time to remember who your enemies are and who your friends are. It's time for us as black people to raise up, rise up, and come together. This is our continent. Every single one of us that was taken. This is our continent. Every single one of us that is born here, this is our continent. Let's stop looking outside for solutions and find them ourselves inside our continent. This is our home. We shouldn't allow anyone to come in to pollute our home or poison our home. That's me. I'm done talking. BlaXit family, I just want to say we all need to come together.
Yeah. So yes, big up yourself, as I say, Watermeyer, and all the vloggers out there that's spreading the message. You know, that waking our people up in this time. So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. Big love, BlaXit family. Thank you for donating, even during these challenging times. I still see your donations coming in, so I want to thank you for everybody that went to PayPal and used our email address, popcollective@yahoo.com, which is on the screen now, and donated something. It's helping us to keep carrying on. No, we haven't had any money from YouTube yet, but I am still working on it so that we can continue to make those programs. And I want to say thank you to little Caffrey, who's been here helping with the filming. Family, remember, it's one Africa, one nation, one unity, one people, one destiny, one future. Go on, Caffrey, tell everybody what to do now. Time to smash that like button. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button. Comment down below. Yeah. And then press that notification bell. Press all so you can keep seeing all.
And tap that subscribe button.
Tap that subscribe button and make a positive comment. Make a positive comment down below. Thank you, BlaXit family.
Very good.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.